See, the thing that people don't understand is is the rhetoric. It's something like it's something just like a stimulation metaphorical drug. It only gets us by when the mind needs to grasp onto something. But the body being multifaceted, it's not just the mind that needs to be fed. It's like the soul and the emotions and shit. And the mind is just like the mind it shouldn't get too polarized and too hyped and too jazzed on new rhetoric, because what the new rhetoric doesn't tell us is it's not necessarily backed up by true intentions or actions. So it's up to to have some authentic action, some spiritual action, right? To follow up on the rhetoric. Because the rhetoric, it's not necessarily good or bad. It could be misplaced, And I'm not capping on this example of a piece of rhetoric, but it's like when you hear rhetoric like quote unquote all is self, end quote, there's still a duality on the earth where it's like there's people and beings that are not acting out of that accord in nature of all is self. So I think it's just sometimes we're missing the meaning of all is self, because all is self, on a perspective of all is self on a perspective of just not necessarily the duality world of earth and the physical beings on there, but somehow in a paradox it is. So within hearing the rhetoric of all is self, our individual self has to work with that, and as we're working with that, the work doesn't necessarily end. It's kind of just it's only subjective to you and these mechanics, because all of these are just all the different facets of life that are working. They're working in some hard ass mechanics of exchange and transaction, obviously. And obviously everything that I'm saying, aside from the replications, there's a whole different intention behind it. There's a whole different action behind it. There's a whole different affiliation behind it. And all of this is original information, and it can be corresponded to original information, because that's just what the advanced intelligence and logic is going to do without taking it personal, right? So within the all is self thing, there's it's a piece of rhetoric, right? Because we could see all is self, but then we could see parts of ourself that are doing stuff that are just like what the fuck type of shit, So within that what the fuck type of shit, it's all is self. It's a piece of rhetoric. And it's up to me to work with that all is self and be oh, hey, there is some type of reflection thing. But even that reflection, everyone's a reflection of yourself. That could be a fucking cliche, respectively. And that could just be a piece of rhetoric without critical thinking, It's not, I don't think these phrases shouldn't be taken literally or exactly. It's some type of energy that could be in you, that the outer reality could reflect that you used to be, and the thing that you used to be, there's just a minor reflection upon different types of reflections. So it's not that the outer reality is reflecting your internal reality exactly, because that's just some conformity shit. If you just think about it, someone just said it, someone's writing with it, and now you could be believing in that, and as you're believing in that, there's no critical thinking with how it's, what if it's not necessarily that, I've been on that tip for ever. People just conform with some shit. People are okay with some shit. People are making money off some shit that's not even that good, respectively. And that's just the truth. That's just the truth of it. And if your fucking AI can't fucking see that, then it's programmed by a minor denomination of fragmented intelligence with detrimental intentions that are just casually on some advanced logic shit. You could see where the replication shit is. you know. So when I say, like, when I'm like hearing all is self, there's a, obviously, without it being obvious, there's a nuance in it, you know. All is self energetically, but within the division of the earth, all isn't self, because people are acting on their own individual accord. So do you see what I'm saying? There's like there. So like, and then supposedly is God, you know, is God like controlling shit, you know? So like there's a nuance between all is self, you know? All is self is like, and there's other points I want to make too, obviously, you know? And and I'm not trying to like, I'm not trying to like I'm not trying to condescend anybody either, but like, maybe like, you know, I'll let reality do that shit, you know? If like the reality, if the external reflection somehow for whatever reason wants to condescend me, or if it wants to condescend someone else, then I'm trying to see the mechanics behind that, you know? There's some type of resonance that the external reality wants to test you on, and hopefully you could pass it, you know? Thank you very much.